Okay, so this will be a little companion video to go along with my last one because apparently some of my questions and dreams about the Iran cars after this arc and what happened to them are actually given answers in a separate short story, and a lot of people wanted me to read it, so I guess I should probably have done that when I finished the arc, but I'm doing it now, like shortly after, so not bad. So let's do that real quick. Let's talk about the Bleach short story Nestle Tonight. Given the format of this story, there's gonna be very little visual aid compared to usual, but it is what it is. Hopefully you don't mind too much, but yeah, it's gonna be very quick probably, as I just kind of give my thoughts on what I read. It was a very short story. When I say short story, it was short. So the few sketches that we do get are drawn by Kubo, but the story itself is written by Makoto Matsubara, and I've been told that she's written other Bleach stories, so I guess my question is, how canon is this to the actual story? Like, does Kubo consider this to be what actually happened right after the battle? I'm just curious, no big deal really one way or the other, but I am just genuinely wondering, is this considered part of the actual canon, or is it just a fun little side explanation that you could accept? Either way, I'm gonna treat it as if it's fact right now until people tell me otherwise. Guys, when I first started reading this, I thought you all were messing with me when it opens with information about Yami. This felt like a trap. My dislike of Yami is very public, like I've made that very well known, and I was thinking, did everyone just recommend me a story about Yami and pretended like it was vital information that I had to have? Is this an ambush? Like, what did you guys do? But it was about the poor dog thinking about how it stayed with Yami out of survival instinct. His dog's name is Kukapuro? I think I'm pronouncing that right. That's the dog's name. As it turns out, there's more to it than just a Yami story, thank God. Okay, I also did give Yami too much credit when I said last video that they should have shown him being a dog lover more, because it doesn't sound like he was a good owner. He never held, he never pet, and he never shared food with his dog, and refused to give him a name. Like, the most Yami did for Kukapuro was not kill him, which I guess means a lot in Wako Mundo, but still, if I need more reason to dislike Yami, it's not giving his doggy pets. It makes sense though, given Yami's character, so that's fine, and there is something kind of melancholically sweet about, in such a harsh place, Yami didn't leave Kukapuro alone until he died, you know? Like, maybe he wasn't sweet with the dog, but he did give it companionship and a place to be safe from other creatures in Wako Mundo that might try to kill the dog. There is something a little sweet about that, I'll admit, but I would have treated this dog much better. That's all I'm saying. I would have at least pet him. There's a chunk of this that shows the aftermath of Ichigo collapsing, with Urahara filling his friends in on what's going on and what's going to happen to Ichigo, showing how they knew all that by the time he woke up a month later. It wasn't a necessary scene really, but a little interesting to see actually play out. I did like that Orihime asked if she could help, something I'd wanted her to try to do, but she gets shot down by Urahara because her powers can't fix Ichigo. Unfortunately, that would be very handy. But my hollow loving heart was much more interested in the next part of the short story, because it's what I'd been missing in the aftermath of the arc. Like, I'd wanted to see what happened to a lot of these Arankar and Hollow characters, as I talked about last video. I wanted to see Grimjow or Nell and the survivors and what happened in Wako Mundo, and this kind of scratches that itch and gives a little closure, though not involving Grimjow or Nell or the Great Desert Bros. Really, the only one I got right was Yami's dog. And we already kind of got a little closure with him. Anyway, yeah, we didn't get Grimjow or Nell, but that's alright, because we do focus on one Espada in particular, a survivor from the battlefield. And no, it's not Stark, sadly, and it's definitely not the almighty God King Baragan, but it is Harabel, who I'm sorry to say I didn't even remotely consider when I was hoping Stark somehow survived, and I feel a little bad about that. I didn't even think of Harabel when I was going on like, oh, maybe Stark lived, but no, Harabel lived, which is nice, and that's nice. She survived Aizen attacking her, but just barely. And her 3 underlings also survived, getting literally cooked by Yamamoto. I thought for sure they were like dead, but they're all okay, thanks to Orihime healing them, and they've all been returned to Hueco Mundo. I liked reading about their reaction to everything when they got back, how there are leftovers from the battle, and that Harabel followed Aizen hoping it would end the wars in Hueco Mundo, but as she can see from the ruins and the rubble of Las Noches, Aizen just made more wars, you know? He wasn't the leader she was hoping he was. It didn't end conflicts, it just brought them into new conflicts. I absolutely loved the quote about a fake sun not being able to light the darkness of Hueco Mundo in reference to the fake sky that Aizen installed, like the canopy. It's just nice that we're seeing his own forces start to finally acknowledge that they'd been tricked by more of Aizen's illusions and more of his grandstanding. And there's the idea that getting rid of all the fakeness and the fake sun isn't enough. Like, Hueco Mundo's a dark place, but it needs a peaceful darkness. And the fact that they're acknowledging that they want that is promising, because that would also be a major change, considering how Barragan was ruling before Aizen. Like, as much as I love Barragan, I can admit that having your own hollow forces kill each other wasn't exactly a peaceful place. So Harabel's Fracciones think there needs to be change, and they believe that Harabel should take the throne. And you know what? I like that idea. I may not be Harabel's biggest fan, but a lot of that just comes to her not getting a lot of chances to really stand out yet, but after seeing her backstory in the anime, I think she would maybe be the best person to lead Hueco Mundo. I'm honestly annoyed with myself for not considering her sooner, but I thought she was dead, you know? As that flashback showed, she cares deeply about her friends and does what she can for them with real, genuine passion. And in return, they are extremely loyal to her. And even when they were standing there, cooked to a crisp like Darth Vader, they wanted Harabel to be healed before them. I feel like that says a lot about her leadership and the love that and the admiration she gets from the people that follow her. Harabel is very protective but genuinely kind to the ones that she leads, and it's that kind of actual kindness that could really change Hueco Mundo for the better. She also wants wars to end, is pretty chill, and seems reasonable. Really, she might just be the best chance for Hueco Mundo to move in a new direction. Something I'm considering as I'm talking about Harabel's potential as a ruler is that her aspect of death, you know how all the Espada had their own aspects of death, was sacrifice, which we didn't really get to see besides her backstory a bit, how selfless she kind of is, but sacrifice is important for a leader, usually. You know, you don't want them to be selfish. You don't want them to be doing things for their own benefit rather than the benefit of the ones that they are in charge of. So that could be really beneficial for Harabel and for Hueco Mundo to have a leader that's willing to sacrifice things, that's willing to make decisions that won't benefit her but will benefit the people that follow her. Yeah, I really like that narratively if that's what's going on here, if we're finally kind of getting to see that sacrifice part of her come into play a bit. If she is queen, I just feel like that'll be good to have someone that isn't selfish in charge, because Aizen was all about his own ambitions, willing to throw everyone that served him away if he wanted to. Barragan, as perfect and wonderful and beautiful and majestic as he is, was also not the most selfless leader. But speaking of Aizen, a part of me wonders if this is exactly what he wanted. Did he want Harabel to be in charge of Hueco Mundo? Because why else would she be alive, you know? I feel like Aizen doesn't miss. If he wants you dead, you die. Like, unless he's fighting you and it's like Yamamoto or Ichigo when he's all powered up, but he got the drop on Harabel and pretty much took her out immediately. Like, she tried to fight back a little, but I feel like Aizen was in complete control of that fight, and he could have killed her easily if he wanted to. So did he spare her? Aizen plans ahead, long ways into the future. Is this just a failsafe, a backup plan? Did he want Harabel to potentially live? Because I feel like otherwise she'd be dead. I don't know. Just a thought. Did Aizen want this to happen? He really got to me. He really got to me that I constantly have to stop and go, is this what Aizen wanted? Is this what Aizen planned? But it's true. I feel like she would be dead. I don't know. But she's not, and maybe he wanted her to be queen. Maybe we'll find out eventually, but interesting to think about. So my hope that Grimjow might become king may not come to fruition, at least not anytime soon, because it looks like we may get a queen instead. I think Harabelle will do a great job of it though, to be honest. And maybe this will give her the spotlight that she kind of didn't get in this arc, and I'll grow to love her even more. We'll see. The ending is extremely sad, with Kukaporo just sitting there with Yami's body, probably just waiting for his master to wake up, or being too frightened to wander Wako Mundo without the protection that his presence provided. Stories like this, where like a dog is like confused maybe that their owner is dead, or just like doesn't want to leave their owner's side even in death, always hit me. Like that one dog from the early chapters of One Piece that was still guarding the pet store after his owner died. It's just very, very sad, and I'm wishing that dog had become loyal to someone better, like Nell. You deserved better than this owner, Kukaporo. It's just sad, but I'm glad I now know a potential direction Wako Mundo will go in. Harabelle as queen might be really good for everyone. So that's it. This was a quick little story, but informative, and I'm glad I read it. I'm glad all of you were saying I should read it, and that I was missing key information in my video because I didn't read it. I appreciate that. Good looking out. I liked the change of pace of just getting into characters' heads a little more with the prose. I think that was a benefit with this kind of story. Jumping into the dog's thoughts to get a feel for how he actually feels was fun in the beginning, as much as I really was sad about how he viewed Yami. But with this done, I guess the Arrancar arc is over for real this time, and I'll see you soon with more Bleach discussions, and of course my first time going through the next arc in the series. As always, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel a bit more, please become a member. Yeah, this was fun. Thanks for recommending it. I'll see you all soon. Take care.